Hi, and welcome to the 8th episode of my news showcast. Today you'll see robots to outnumber humans by 2040, new Mayan city found in jungle, Putin threatens West with nuclear weapons, world's largest 3D printer, confessions of AI creator, and more. By 2040, there will be more robots than people, Musk said at the Future Investment Initiative conference in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. I think by 2040, there will probably be more humanoid robots than people. Every country will have AI or multiple AIs, and there will be lots of robots, far more robots than people. If you have humanoid robots and there is no real limit to how many there are, then there is no real limit to the economy in that. Citing data from the World Population Counter, the current human population is about 8.2 billion people. Critics say Musk's words are baseless. But if we imagine that some event will reduce the population by 10 times, then such statements no longer seem meaningless. According to another scenario, also voiced by Musk, people will be able to transfer their consciousness into robots. In this case, he may also be right. I am sure that the current levels of AI, like many other technological breakthroughs, were discovered long before their official release, and all we see is a controlled feed with a predetermined purpose. Rocket Lab's giant 90-ton 3D printer is building the world's largest carbon fiber rocket. Building large composite rockets used to be a complex and painstaking process, with teams of engineers spending thousands of hours manually laying down thousands of layers of carbon fiber. Rocket Lab has simplified the process with its innovative 3D printer. With this equipment, the process will be reduced from several weeks to a single day and will save more than 150,000 hours. The machine can lay down carbon fiber composite at a speed of 100 meters per minute, moving up to 30 meters. Since we are building the world's largest carbon composite rocket, it makes sense that we need the world's first carbon composite fiber layup machine, said Rocket Lab's founder. Well, it looks like Elon Musk is not the only one who is aiming far into space. The emergence of competition in such a narrow field suggests that the implementation of these plans is only a matter of time. And note that robots are again displacing humans, doing work more accurately and faster. Do you still think that AI and robots will help us? First they will, and then they will replace us. Archaeologists have used lidar to discover a new lost Mayan city with temple pyramids and plazas that were hidden for centuries by the Mexican jungle. The study was published in the journal Antiquity. Their analysis revealed a dense and diverse array of previously unexplored Mayan settlements, including an entire city they named Valeriana. The larger of the two monumental sites at Valeriana has all the hallmarks of a classic Mayan political capital: temple pyramids, a ball court, a reservoir, a watercourse. The city was founded sometime before 150 CE. The Maya are an amazing civilization that numbered tens of millions of people and disappeared without a trace. Their culture and knowledge in various fields amazed modern scientists and researchers. They understood astronomy, knew the solar and lunar cycles, the equinoxes, and navigated by a calendar that was 1,280,000 years long. Want to know more interesting details? Tell me in the comments. Nobel laureate Geoffrey Hinton, one of the so-called godfathers of AI, has quit Google and believes his efforts could lead to the end of humans.
Does humanity know what it's doing?
No. I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
You believe they can understand?
Yes.
You believe they are intelligent?
Yes.
You believe these systems have experiences of their own and can make decisions based on those experiences?
In the same sense as people do, yes.
Will they have self-awareness, consciousness?
Oh, yes. I think they will in time.
And so human beings will be the second most intelligent beings on the planet?
Yeah.
The risks are what?
Well, the risks are having a whole class of people who are unemployed and not valued much because what they What they used to do is now done by machines. The human brain has about 100 trillion, and yet, in the trillion connections in a chatbot, it knows far more than you do in your 100 trillion connections.
At what point did you realize that you were right about neural networks and most everyone else was wrong?
I always thought I was right.
What do you mean we don't know exactly how it works? It was designed by people.
No, it wasn't. What we did was we designed the learning algorithm. That's a bit like designing the principle of evolution. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks that are good at doing things, but we don't really understand exactly how they do those things. They will be able to manipulate people.
BlackRock Bitcoin ETF records its biggest trading day in 6 months. On October 29th, the daily trading volume for the ETF rose to 3.35 billion. Investors are panic buying Bitcoin as the asset approaches an all-time high. On this day, the asset price reached 73,620, which is just a couple of hundred less than the record set in March. Analysts attribute this to growing signals of Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election, who promises a bright future in cryptocurrency regulation.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
Let me remind you that the U.S. elections will begin on November 5th. Russia has launched a major nuclear weapons exercise, including missile test launches simulating a retaliatory strike. Putin said Moscow would continue to modernize its nuclear forces by deploying new missiles that are more accurate and have a faster launch time. Moscow would respond if the West allowed Ukraine to use Western-supplied, longer-range weapons to strike Russian territory. Putin warned that such a move would lead to a NATO war with Russia. He also announced a new version of the nuclear doctrine that treats a conventional attack on Russia by a non-nuclear country, backed by a nuclear power, as a joint attack on his country. Meanwhile, South Korea is considering sending troops to Ukraine to observe and analyze Russia's deployment of North Korean troops, as 12,000 North Korean soldiers are involved in the war against Ukraine. This is getting more and more interesting. Will we die from global cataclysms, AI will take over humanity, or from the Third World War? Write what you think about this. Severe floods in the Spanish province of Valencia have claimed the lives of 62 people. Heavy rains hit the region on Tuesday, October 29, with meteorologists recording the highest rainfall in the region since 1996. Water is inundating entire cities, sweeping away bridges and cars. Hundreds of people are trapped in flooded areas. The army is helping rescuers. The Spanish Weather Service has issued a red alert for Valencia and neighboring regions, with 200 millimeters of rain falling in just 8 hours. This is a terrible situation. My condolences to the families of the victims. Russian TV channels' claims against Google have reached 2 undecillion rubles. That's about $20 decillion. The court ordered the company to restore access to Russian media accounts on YouTube, and until it does so, the penalty is growing daily. YouTube representatives stated that the channels were blocked due to state funding of the media, as well as in the context of implementing sanctions against Russia. In June 2023, a Russian court declared Google bankrupt. It is noteworthy that by that time, debts exceeded 19 billion rubles, and the company had assets worth only 3.5 billion rubles. World is changing fast. New epidemics, restrictions on our freedoms, economic risks, wars, global climate change, the penetration of artificial intelligence into our lives. Will humanity be able to withstand all the trials? Will we be able to preserve our freedom and identity? Will we be able to unite for our own salvation? Most people do not regard the current situation as a threat. However, if the victim does not see the predator, this does not mean that there is no predator. You can hide in your cozy room under the blanket and hope that everything will pass you by. Or you can come out into the light and become a part of a new progressive community that can change the world. Like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, you decide to be or